All right, it is Monday. It is 1 o'clock. Time for the Monday message. Glad to speak with everybody today. Glad to be with team, man. I'm telling you what, we got so many exciting things happening all over right now. We had a massive month of May. People have massive breakthroughs. We had new groups become major forces last month. You had Nick Greco's team become one of the top teams in our entire deal across the country. Became one of the top teams. I'm gonna post the numbers on the Alliance private Facebook later this afternoon. I'm just telling you, when I look at him, I'm like, God, he just joined us. He just joined us. And then drafting right behind him, Mike Guerra, man, his team becoming one of the top teams in the entire country for us. Like, I'm just telling you, new people are winning. It's crazy. It just gets me crazy excited to see new people winning. I absolutely love it. So I have been walking around just fired up out of my mind because of getting to see new people winning. Fired up too this week and Thursday and Friday. I will be in Dallas, Texas at the Integrity home office with Andy Albright and a select group of other top leaders from around the country, meeting with Integrity's people, looking at the partnership opportunity, figuring out any tweaks we need to make, and getting people caught up in this draft of going partner at Integrity. When you go partner at Integrity, it's massive. It is a absolute financial game changer for your future and your future and your future. I'm telling you, it's crazy what will happen when you go partner at Integrity. I spent some time on the phone with Paul Roberts this weekend just talking about that stuff. And he was saying, hey, dude, I got to tell you, those guys at Integrity, they're calling me. They're asking about you. I'm talking to them about you. And it's just, and then they're hearing just like what it will mean to go partner. Fired up out of my mind. So let's get started with our leaderboards. But actually, before we do that, that's fine. Go ahead and leave it up. That's good. I promised on the zip whip that went out that we would share a liberating truth and a sobering truth. And I'm telling you, the more I thought about the content I prepared today, the more it messed me up. I mean, just messed me up. So I can't wait to get to the content. But let's go through the numbers for the week that was. Look at all the producers submitting over 1,000 last week. You got Sean Quigley coming in $1,371.84. Jackie Johnson, $1,589.64. Cody Poirier, $1,695.36. Mike Guerra, $2,028.72. Rachel Midthun, $2,116.20. Darcy Allen, $2,139.96. Dave Fleming, $2,513.64. Nick Greco, $2,681.88. Neil Barley, $2,718.29. Rogers and Kemp Straughter, $3,473.40. Chris Callis, $3,556.80. Jeremico Edwards, $3,718.20. Evan Patzer, $3,742.72. Seth and Adina Decker, $3,804.04. Misha Marsh, $4,135.08. Edward Conrad, $4,490.04. Lenoris Washington, $4,531.08. Austin Heater, $5,177.76. Gustavo Mercedes Tehran, $5,622.12. Mimi Ramiro, $6,314.88. Mimi's making moves. I'm telling you, she was on Friday interviewing for support staff. I'm telling you, when I see someone doing that and starting to build a support staff, that gets me fired up because I know where it leads. When you have good help, it amplifies you. When you have good help that can take all the stuff off of you that you're not good at, that when they can take all the stuff off of you that's not selling and recruiting, when they can take all that off of you, it amplifies your results. I'm telling you, if you don't have good help, you're going to want to get good help. I promise you. Call me. Let's talk about it. Diana Castile, $6,396.24. Joshua Mills, $6,462.72. I turned in $6,940.20 last week, and leading the way, submitting Mark Hutchison last week, $9,316.80. And you know what gets me so fired up about seeing that much submit? That's on a holiday week. That's on a week where most people end up just taking all this time off and just wrecking their sales because they take too much time off and kill their momentum. Y'all made it happen. I'm telling you, I love holiday weeks because it tells me where the pulse is leadership wise on this team. You guys did awesome this week. We did awesome as a team. So fired up looking at those numbers. All right, let's go to our next leaderboard. Issue paid year to date. We had a shakeup in the makeup. Top 10. Number 10, Sabrina Floyd, over 48,000. Number 9, Diana Castile, over 53,000. Nick Greco just started. He's moving into 8th place, and I'm telling you, he's going to keep taking places. I'm telling you. $59,384.31. Way to go, Nick. Evan Patzer, $84,094.93. Mimi Ramiro, $85,294.38. Now it jumps. You see the jump to number 5, Jeremico Edwards, $112,298.64. Way to go, buddy. Brandon and Ashley Beal sitting in 4th place, $120,039.46. Gustavo and Mercedes Teran, they leapfrogged up into 3rd place, $133,305.36. And Gustavo will tell you he is just getting rolling. Mercedes, you guys are killing it. Awesome. Way to leapfrog into the top 3. Proud of you guys. Number 2, I'm currently sitting in number 2 with $142,971.55. And leading the way, a familiar face at the top, Mr. Mark Hutchison, $173,118.19. Way to go, brother. I'm so proud of you. All right, weekly paychecks, top paychecks. Number 5, Nick Greco, $2,706.83. Number 4, Brandon Beal's check, $2,737.87. Number 3, Gustavo and Mercedes Teran, $3,480.25 deposited in their account last week. Mimi Ramiro, $3,564.51 deposited in her account last week. If you had $3,500 deposited in your account this week, what would that do for you? How would things change? How would you feel? Would you sleep better? I know it would change a lot of stuff for a lot of people. That's why it gets me fired up. Money is not the end all be all. Be crystal clear. But man, it can take some stuff off of you. It can take some stuff off of you and get you more in on the stuff that counts in life. Mark Hutchison, God, dude, how much money have you made this year, Mark? Just continuing to crush it. $12,052.79 deposited into his account last week alone. That's awesome, Mark. Way to go, dude. All right, so let's get going. So here's what I want to share. It's a liberating truth and a sobering truth, and they're very closely related. Here's the liberating truth. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. The only thing that matters is where you're going. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. It doesn't matter what's in your past. What matters is where you're going in life. And I say that's a liberating truth because it is. We want to carry so much of our past with us, but that doesn't matter as much as where you are going. Now, maybe you're like me and you can relate. Maybe you've said a few things in the past you wish you wouldn't have. Maybe you've done a couple dumb things that, God, I wish I wouldn't have done that. Hey, here's the liberating news. It's behind us. That doesn't matter as much as where you're going. Yesterday doesn't matter. Where we're going today, that's what matters. Now, that's the liberating truth. And I'm telling you, it's liberating. Get that off of you. Get that, just absolutely, just let it go. Just let it all go. Where you're coming from doesn't matter. And it's so funny because I'll talk to new people and they go, you don't understand where I'm coming from. I'm like, it don't matter. It is what it is. It ain't what it ain't, but it don't matter. What matters more is where you're going. Now, that's the liberating side. Here's the sobering side. You're headed exactly where you're going. That's the sobering side. You're headed exactly where you're going. In my years of helping people and coaching people, people end up in a mess. And here's what they say. And maybe you can relate to this. I never thought I'd end up fill in the blank. I never thought I'd end up in this big. I never thought I'd end up this broke. I never thought I'd end up here. Here's what's crazy. It's very predictable. It's very predictable. Now, there are some just unforeseen occurrences that happen to people, right? I mean, something crappy can happen. Something, I mean, it is what it is. But the large part of our life is very predictable. It's very predictable. That's the sobering part. What we did thus far is driving us towards our destination. So it's not a shock where we end up when we look at the behaviors. Here's what it is. The decisions you make, the thoughts you allow to linger, and that's key. The thoughts you allow to linger, and the actions you take. Those three things are slowly driving you towards who you will become. So when people get to the end of life and they're just like, God, I left so much on the field, it was because of the thoughts they allowed to linger, the decisions they made, and the actions they took. Those three things are what drove them to that place that they're not happy with. So if you're not happy with where you're at right now, those three things years ago were driving you to where you are now. We are the sum total of those things. We're the sum total of the decisions we make, the thoughts we allow to linger, and the actions we take. Let me hit that thoughts thing for a minute. Everybody has bad thoughts. Everybody has bad thoughts. Everybody has reactions that everybody has those thoughts. It's the ones you allow to linger that shape where you're going. Here's a thought that people allow to linger. With everything in my past, I'm just never going to be successful. I'm never going to be happily married. I'm never going to be, they allow those thoughts to linger, and then that shapes where they end up. I had one guy I was trying to coach through stuff. And he'd always say this about himself. He'd say, "Oh, I'm just a fat guy." He'd say it all the time. I'm like, stop saying that. That thought you're allowing to linger is driving you here. Or I've got one guy I was coaching one time. He's like, I'm a passionate person. It's like, I hear you. But you've got to stop yelling at people. That you're allowing that thought to linger. Everybody has those reactions. It's funny. We all have reactions that they're not helpful. So it's the thoughts we allow to linger. That's what shapes. Just because you have a thought that's not helpful doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you're a hello person, not a machine. Guess who doesn't have bad thoughts? Machines. Well, I guess unless you program them to do something bad, but you're a person. So when you think something that's not helpful or constructive, that's just being a person. It's when you allow it to linger that it starts driving you towards the destination. And if the thought isn't in line with the destination you want to end up, you got to stop thinking it. How do you stop thinking it? Think about something else. That's what I do. Can't think about that. I'll think about this. We all have that control. So that's the sobering thing. What we've done and thought, allowed to linger, actions, decisions, they drove us to exactly where we are today. That's the sobering point. The liberating point is today, we're right now, doesn't matter as much as where we're going, the direction we're headed. So how do we change that? Here's what I need you to do. Here's what to do about it. That's what I promised. I'd share those truths and I tell you what to do about it. Here's what you've got to do about it. Here's what you and I got to continuously do about it to take charge of it. Because we're not like these people that just think they're not in charge of anything. Everything's already going to end up the way it's going to end up. And I have we're not those people. We're leaders. We believe in stuff like sowing and reaping. We believe in what we do, what we think about, decisions we make. That's driving us. So we believe that stuff because we're leaders. We know we have control over our actions and our attitudes, and we can use those to drive us to where we want to go. We're not talking about the rest of the world that just feels like they're a victim and all that, and they can't help. No, we're not. That's not us. We're leaders. So we go, the thoughts I allow to linger, the actions I take, the decisions I make, I'm in charge of those. So here's what you and I got to do and then continuously do. We've got to define and behave like the ideal me, like the ideal you. We've got to define and then behave like the ideal us, the ideal you, and the ideal me. We've got to define it and then behave like that. Most people take no time to define. That's why they think they're not in control. They think, oh, I'm just like my daddy, just like my mom. I'm a screamer and a yeller. I throw stuff. No, 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 no. No. Me and you, we go, how I behaved in the past, what I saw growing up, does not define who I will become. That's one of the reasons I respect Holly, my wife, beyond belief. She dealt with terrible things in her childhood that no child should ever deal with, but she decided that doesn't define me. I'm going to become the ideal version of me. And I know there's more of you out there like that, and I respect the heck out of that. That's the kind of people I like being around, people of substance, people of character, people with fight in them. That's who I like being around. I don't like being around wimps and wusses because God, they are easily offended. And it's just a burden to be around people that are easily offended. But leaders that say what happened in the past, good or bad, my fault or not my fault, doesn't define me. I'm going to become this person. That's what leaders do. So that's what you and I got to do. We got to define it. And then we've got to work to behave like that. And it's work to behave like that. It's work to behave like that. Hey, let me tell you something. If getting up and working out was easy, everybody do it. If having a great marriage was easy, everybody'd have one. If having a great relationship with your children for life was easy, everybody would do it. It takes leadership to define and then choose to continue to do your best to behave like that. So what is the ideal you made up of? It's made up of 6 things. Here's the 6 things that the ideal you and me that we've got to define. Keep in mind, I can't define you and you can't define me. I've got to define me and you've got to define the ideal you. But it's made up of these 6 things. Both of us are made up of the ideal us is made up of these 6 things. 1, virtues. Virtues, the virtues that you will choose to live by. Virtues are one of those things that you're slowly writing your eulogy by how you behave virtue-wise. You're slowly writing your eulogy. People are going to sum your life up in 1 sentence. If you're gone tomorrow, people are going to sum your life up in 1 sentence. And it's going to be the virtues that you lived or didn't live, that I lived or didn't live, that's going to shape that. That's why I always joke around about tombstones, how most of them are inaccurate. Everybody's beloved and devoted, but some of them should just say, this guy was kind of mean to people all the time, right? That's reality for some folks. But you and I, we're going to shape a sentence through our virtues. So what are those virtues? What are the virtues that the ideal you embodies? Because that's what people will think about. That's what you leave behind. That's the feel you leave behind. Virtues are shaped by the second thing in the ideal you and me, and that's our values. Values check-ins are so important. All of the highly successful, highly fulfilled people I know do regular values check-ins. They go back and revisit their values, and then they look at their behaviors and go, which of these does not line up with my values? And then they make a change. All the highly successful, highly fulfilled people I know, they all do that. It's called a values check-in. In our house with our kids, we don't have hardly any rules, but we have values our family lives by. And anytime I'm in a wrinkle with one of them, we'll talk about the values. Does this behavior align with our values? And then guess who else has to try and do his best to live by the values of the house? Me. That's why I got to make them so public. It puts some pressure on me to behave, to act right. Like my mom said, act right, just act right. If you act right, you'll become right. Just act right. So values, that's the second piece. Here's the third piece, the goals. The goals that the ideal you is working to achieve and will achieve. The goals, number 3. Number 4, your hopes. The hopes for the future. What's your hope for the future? That's part of the ideal you. That's part of the ideal you. How do you need to behave to get to those hopes? What are those hopes? How do you need to behave to get there? We'll get into that more in a minute. Number 5, dreams. What is the ideal you dream about? What is it? What, when you dream about the ideal you, this is the ideal me. What are those dreams about? What is it? This is all defining who we are, the ideal us. And then number 6, the aspirations. What are your aspirations? What do you aspire to be? Those 6 things, your virtues, your values, your goals, your hopes, your dreams, and your aspirations, that's what you use to shape the ideal you. Now, shaping the ideal you, defining it, as I talked about before, that's only half the equation. And quite frankly, is the easier half. It's real easy because you can pay all kinds of lip service to this stuff, right? It's easy to pay lip service to all virtues, values. My virtues are this, my values are this. It's fun. I like it. I'm not knocking it. I'm going, this is the easy part. The hard part becomes the behavioral part. But take time to define those things. Your virtues, your hopes, your virtues, your values, your goals, your hopes, your dreams, and your aspirations. Take time to define those things. And then here's what I want you to do. And I'm gonna do it with you. I'm gonna do some drawing. All right. Here's the way it works. So let's talk about virtues. What virtues are the ideal you? I'll share some of mine. I strive to be a kind person. Now, me being a kind person is in direct opposition to my tendency towards impatience. When I get commended for being a patient person, I'm like, oh my God, the faking's working. It's sticking. It's the struggle. I am very choleric, very impatient. I want everything to happen now. And one of those, it's in my past, right? Tinsley, she was being impatient with one of her little friends. And I said, baby, you gotta be patient. And she's like, I don't like patience. It's like, I don't either, but we gotta fake it for all the slow people. I was like, let's go. I'm telling you, it was one of those things I was like, I did not say that right. That is not what I said. One of my virtues is to be a kind person. So that is, I have to work hard on patience. I have to work hard on it. It's something I've dealt with my whole life. And by God, it's taken too long to work on. Vicious cycle there. But one of my virtues is I want people to say, Stephen was a kind man. He was a very kind man. One of my other virtues is Stephen was a very forgiving man. Very forgiving man. Man, I screwed up. Man, I ticked him off. Man, I let him down. But you know what? He let it go. He acted like it was no big deal. He let it go. Never brought it up. See, that's the virtues I want to live. Does that make sense? One of the other ones is I want to be known as a faithful man. Faithful in what? And all the stuff that matters. Faithful to Holly, faithful to my kids, faithful to my values, faithful to my beliefs, faithful to my friends. Even stuff as simple as being faithful to showing up on time. I'm a get stuff done kind of person. You give it to me, you don't got to think about it again because I'm a faithful person. Is you see what I'm saying? That's the virtues that I want to live. So then the question becomes, how does this person behave? Then we start listing stuff. How does a kind person behave? A kind person is a patient person. All right. How does a kind person behave? A kind person is a thoughtful person. So I need to be thoughtful. How does a forgiving person behave? How does a faithful person behave? You see where we're going? And then we tie these into actions to implement. So what are those actions? You're taking the virtue and you're distilling it down to actions I need to implement this week. So a faithful person. I want to be faithful to Holly. So we distill that down. And guess what? That means Davies needs to buy flowers and he needs to leave love notes when he goes to Dallas this week. You say, well, that you're taking a quality like faithful and you're distilling it to, yeah, that's because again, what I'm trying to do is behave like who I want to be. So there's also good news on that. If you struggle to behave like who you want to be, welcome to the team. That's why stuff like this is so vital for us to take things, say, I want to be, this is, and you do it with all of them. So what are my goals? Well, one of my goals is go partner. So what would a partner behave like? What actions do I need to take this week? It's just distilling it down so that it keeps you and I between the lines, becoming the ideal us. They say, how often should you do this? You should do it as often as possible. Why? Because what you'll learn when you do this is that a lot of your tendencies are not in harmony. Some of your habits are not in harmony with who you want to become. And so we've got to make those changes, because otherwise we're going to become that person we don't want to become. So we've got to distill it down to basic actions to take. When you do that, and you do your best to do those actions every week, to live those behaviors, you change the course. You see, people get focused on my destiny. I hear you, but that's up here. That's a up in the clouds, pie in the sky. I'm going to be a partner in integrity. That's not as important as the direction. It's not as important as direction. If you focus on the direction, the destination will work out. I hope to God the pilot on Thursday focuses on getting to Dallas. Because if he goes the right direction, we'll get to Dallas. If he doesn't go the right direction, we won't. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing with life. Who's that ideal you? Who do you want to become? How does that person behave? What do I need to do this week? I'm telling you, it's powerful. That's what to do about the sobering part of the truth. Remember that the liberating truth, just trying to find that word. The liberating truth was that the past doesn't matter. The sobering truth is right now does. Right now, 10 minutes from now, 2 days from now, that's what matters. What's the direction? Now, here's the crazy thing. Here's the payoff. Here's the payoff. And this will help you so much. I'm telling you. Here's the payoff. The more you behave, the more you and I behave consistently with what we know our ideal behavior should be. The more we do that, the more we're going to like ourselves, the more we're going to respect ourselves, and the more we'll have genuine happiness. When you like yourself, when you respect yourself, and you're happy, you are a magnet for the stuff you're trying to get. You are a magnet for the stuff you're trying to get. In other words, what I want a happy marriage with Holly. When I like myself, respect myself, and am happy, it makes me easy to be around. And if I'm easy to be around, she'll stick around. Does that make sense? When I like myself, respect myself, and am happy, I will go partner because I'm going to attract other leaders. So here's what's crazy. The more we behave consistent with the behaviors we know we need to do in line with the 6 things that make up the ideal self, the easier it is to get there, because we become a magnet for the things that we're trying to create. Guys, I hope that helps. I hope the liberating truth helps. I hope the sobering truth is a little scary. It's a little scary for me. And I hope you take what we talked about today on the call and distill down those things. Distill down those things. What are those 6 things? What is that ideal self? How does that behavior look? And what do you need to do this week? What actions do you need to take? Guys, Holly and I love you. We cannot wait to see you at Family Reunion. I'm going to be booking some more boot camps over the next little bit, getting out where I can to help. In fact, we're going to record some sales training here in a little bit here in the office, because when I was in Denver, Nick Greco, all those guys out there, they were like, dude, we need a video of the sales training you just did. This is This is super helpful. So we're gonna cut that video, and it will be available in the future to help. We want to do everything we can to help you win, guys. Holly and I love you. We want you to win more than you can possibly imagine. Let's get out. Let's get after it, guys. We got momentum. Now's the time to grab it and growl. All right, hammer down.